Hello everyone and welcome to this next installment of our tour of the European Union. I am Henrik and I'll be your pilot flying today, and I do hope that you're ready to be my first officers, because I do really need some. I'll make tons of mistakes and it would be nice to have somebody to point out all the juicy mistakes I make. No, not just kidding. Not about the mistakes part though, but about pointing them out. So we are stood here in wonderful Nice in the southern France, and behind us we have, can barely make it out, the Côte d'Azur, the Azure coast of the Mediterranean Sea. We are in France, our latest visit and the largest country of the European Union, and today's flight will be among the longest legs that we will do in this project. We are going all the way from Nice to Portugal to Lisbon, and I do expect the flight to take almost 2 hours, so I do hope that I am able to entertain you for that long. And that's 2 hours flight time. Then we'll also have the setup and everything, so it might be quite a long video. I do post all my flights as full flights, and you can of course skip ahead as you like if you are stressed for time or find this a bore. Anyway, we are as always in VR using the Oculus Rift S and X-Plane 11, flying the 737 Seabomard. We are using the Scandinavian Airways livery Saga Viking for the entirety of this project, and our call sign is as always Scandinavian 511, since we are a chartered flight and doing a promotional tour around all of the European countries. Enough talk about this and that. As you can see, we are in wonderful Nice airport. I think it's one of the revamped airports that came out in X-Plane 35, and it looks rather good for a generic airport. Actually, I got palm trees, and we actually even have moving things and what have you not. I'm quite sure it's one of those. We are also, of course, live on VATSIM. There are no ATC available in Nice. I am trying to bump in as many flights as I can, which involves me flying during the midday times where activity on VATSIM unfortunately are quite low. I do hope for some activity as we come towards Lisbon, and I even hope for a two-leg day today, so I do hope that we are able to go to Lisbon and visit Portugal and learn about Portugal, and then turn around in a turnaround state and fly to our next country, that will be Spain, and I am planning for an arrival in Alicante. But today's flight will take us straight down this way along the French Mediterranean coast, and we will make landfall over Barcelona, cross over the heartland of Spain over Madrid, and then we will begin our descent into Lisbon in Portugal. So yeah, let's jump in the cockpit and start the preparation for today's flight. We are here cold and dark, so I'll just adjust my seat and we will jump straight into the cockpit. Here we go. As you can see, something has changed. I have enabled the glare in garages. I might actually just turn that off again. There was a reason that I have since long forgotten as to why I turned it off. Maybe it was FPS wise, I'm not quite sure. So we'll leave it on for now, but I might actually turn it off. Yeah, so you can start by closing the door, keeping all that noise out, and attach some ground power. There's no ground power available, so we can ask for that. And the temperature is also quite grown, so let's connect the ASU as well. So without further ado, and without any particular order, we will get this flight ready for a long haul day. Boom, boom. And we can just do a quick check up here. Good. And also good. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so I do actually I do really like my 1 hour flight time simply because it can get a bit boring. I do like long flights if you do have some weather and some ATC and traffic, but flights without any of those can get quite basic flying in a straight line for hours, nothing happen, which is as it should be, of course. Nothing should happen, but you know, can get when you are sitting alone, nobody to talk to, and it can get quiet. So I am then talking to you, hopefully. So that looks good. Oh, it's working well. And let's just get some lights up here. So I do think the reason I turned off the glare is that they tend to get annoying after a while. Looks quite realistic, but it's quite sharp in VR, so yeah, you have that glare shining back at you. Let's just have a look here. Barrow, and looks quite fine. It's as we left it when we arrived here from our nighttime arrival during the tricky RNAV Alpha arrival into runway 04 left. And yeah. There we go. Looking fine. Reset that. Gear down, stowed, and just get some lights here. Do expect us to be flying in evening time today, if I choose to do the 2-leg flight. Looking good. Also good. And good.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb now. Climb now. Climb, crossing, climb. Climb, crossing, climb. Clear of conflict. Descend.
And fuses are checked.
Descend, crossing, descend. Descend, crossing.
So let's just get our position in here.
Descend now. Descend
set
now.
in Nice.
Increase climb. Increase climb. Increase descent. Increase descent. Maintain vertical speed. Maintain vertical speed.
So we'll leave it there for now.
Maintain. Monitor vertical
And then we'll grab
speed.
our
TCAS test.
flight plan
Pass.
and get some weights in. So we are at 56.5. And just need to look at our. So it requires me to have at least 9.5 tons, and if I choose to fly to Alicante, so we could do something like 13 tons. So that should just about keep us safe for the SIBA mod. So we are about a ton below our maximum takeoff weight, and we do expect to burn up enough to be well below our landing weight. So we'll review that while flying, but for now we are good, and we should have fuel enough to not need a refuel in Portugal. So that's set. Let's get our crew working, and let's get our flight plan again. And we'll be cruising at flight level 350, so let's just pop that in while we have that number in front of us. And take some time here with the VR controller, but we gladly do that. in order to sit in VR. So here we go. Yeah, you see 2 hours and 22 minutes trip time. Expect us to burn 6 tons, which will leave us with 6 tons left, which will leave us at 62.5-ish, and that should do us quite nice. So we could even take more if we wanted to, really. But we'll say that we're good with this. The trip to Alicante, I think it's a 6-ton trip, so maybe we should take 14. No, let's leave it there. No need to push it all the way up. So that's that. So we can move on with the setup here. I do believe it's L Lima Papa Papa Tango. Correct. And we will be Scandinavian 511. And let me just to make sure, in case some ATC shows up, it's nice to have a heads up so we can grab our clearance and everything. So we'll just get this ready. We can delay that. We don't need that to be instantly updating. Save some FPS there. Pull it down if you want to. Do have some traffic around here in Nice, though. It's nice to see that people are using this airport, because it's actually a quite nice airport. Okay, and let's just get the desktop up and running as well, shall we? Best quality, no delay, mouse dragging, moves VR. Shut you down. Here we go. And no ATC, and we are currently the only one on the apron. And gives us a good situational awareness when we're taking off. So that's all set up, and then we can go on to our route. We will depart from 04 right on the Apollo 6 Bravo. And we'll go to Uniform Papa 132. Divco. So put in Divco. Here we go. Uniform November 975. Go to Charlie Sierra. And direct to Elvar. And it bit. And a lot of direct here, and direct to runway 03 in Lisbon. So now let's just check that out here. So the it bit have no I would like to have at least an. I don't know why I didn't put in any arrivals here. So we'll definitely have to check that out. Let's try. So I would like to just check out the maps here for Lisbon. So that's basically it. 7B, which is not available for this runway. Let's do. Just the 8 Alpha. Let's put that in, that looks... Okay, so let's just check this out here quickly. So departure, everything is good here. And there are some mountainous terrain in Lisbon, so we should really be on a good arrival there. Så we'll take us to Liquida. And so it's quite a detour, to be honest. Definitely not the Busen Inbom. So the Inbom 8 Alpha does actually look... let's just see if that's available to us. So let's check this one out here. Yeah, so that looks more like so it bit will take us all the way down there and then up again. It's quite a mess, this arrival, to be honest. The final part looks quite good, but it's the detour up north. To Impom, then it turns us down. so we'll definitely have a look at that, but I won't be using any more of our time here now. On this we have plenty of time to spend in the air, so let's just we will figure this out, no worries there. So our alternate is Sevilla in Spain, and we will be needing reserves of, let's say, 2.8. Go. Usual cost index is there, 35. That's correct. And we'll need our winds. 27638. And +7 is a deviation. There we go. Execute that. And our outside temperature 29 degrees. It's a shame we couldn't stay. I would like to go have a swim in the Mediterranean, then go to a small cafe on the sidewalk and have some French cuisine and some wine. But instead we will be blasting out of here with 99.9 and 1. Take off, flaps 5. Oops, 151. So V2 quite heavy here, so and now we have that reversal thing. Trim 5.4 units. There we go. That should do us nicely. And of course the approach will do flaps 30, I think, but we'll review that again once we get closer. So that's basically it. And we have of course gone through the legs page here. So we'll be going alongside the coast here over Spain. And then it starts to get really weird. And here to Inbom. Yeah, so but we will definitely be fixing that. There's no doubt about that. So we'll have a look. In worst case, we'll build our own route based on this here approach. Just fix the other waypoints at Inbom, and we should be just fine. We will have to make sure that we aren't going too low into any terrain. That's why I really would like to have a proper approach set. So you can get the legs page. I'll take the route for now here, and we can put you to map. And we can go back, cancel you, and find our maps for Nice. Go, we'll take the airport first. Here we go, so here we are at stand. Don't have the stand number right now, but at Charlie something, I think. So we will be doing a takeoff from a 04 left. Let me just see if we can get a better. So let's just jump outside real quick, just to get an idea of where we are parked. No stand numbers here. Oh, that noise. Where's the stand number? So obviously, for some odd reason, the gates aren't numbered. And that's a bit of a pain. I could go out in the menu and grab it from there, but we should be at Charlie something. I think we are around here, yeah. One of these. So what we'll do is that we will push back facing west, and we'll do Sierra. We can do Sierra this way here. Sierra Delta then Charlie, perhaps. Onto holding point Charlie 1. Yeah, so Sierra, Charlie. We'll just do Sierra, Charlie, Charlie 1, Charlie 2, and then down here. So that's what we'll do. And our departure was April 6 Bravo. So basically our right hand turn all the way out, and we are clear to 7 at least. 043. Just confirm that. Yep. So 043. Climb to 420 at 420. Turn right. 138. Let's see if we have anything useful tuned here. 112.4. That's nice. Tuned. So let's get back here. Turn right, 138 track to 8 miles off the Nice VOR. Then it's basically just our nav points taking us over here. So 210 below, maximum 210 at the first point, and then 250 at 10 or below. So we can keep that set. So that should do us nicely. So let's just go over this. So I would like you to be all the way down here. You are set to map and barrow. Pop you on. You can come on. And I would like you to go a bit further out, like so. And looking good. So let's get the
Lima Foxtrot Mike November Airport information. Hotel 1200 Zulu. Weather wind 147 at 7. Visibility 10,000. Sky condition few clouds at 3,000. Temperature 29er. Dew point 21. QNH 1018. Advise on initial contact. You have information. Hotel
1018. 1018.
Lima Fox.
And we can take our VR mouse, and we need 1012 for the MFR rate. And we can do the rest manually here. Oh, there we go. Set. So, looking good. Let's just get seated properly here, looks good. And we basically got all we need, so we can get the view going. And boom. Looks good. And you're set. And we can do our checklists. What we can do is I'll do the planning together with the. So we look pretty clear, so I'll just shut you down for now. We look clear in the airspace. And the pre-flight, we have oxygen is tested at 100%, nav transfer and the space switches are auto and normal. Window heat is on, pressurization mode selector is set to auto. There. Flight instruments, we have a heading and altimeter heading of 010 and 0020. 0020 is checked. Parking brake is set and engine start switches. Start levers are set to cut off. Flight door, deck doors are closed. Actually, what we can do is this. And sorry, I'm abrupting a checklist. You really aren't supposed to do that. But do this. Flight deck door closed and locked. Fuel, we have 12.9 tons and 3 pumps on. Passenger signs are on. Windows are locked. MCP speed, we have 151,043 and 7,000 set, and our V speeds are 140, 142, 151. CDO pre-flight completed, rudder and aileron trim is free and 0. Taxi and takeoff briefing is completed. Now we can turn the anti-collision lights on. Can wait a bit. There we go. On. Set debut. That's all good.
Run to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Let's see here, so there we go. So we need to go this way here. Like so, that will do us nicely, I think. So let's just find the correct button here. There we go. Get reseated.
Run to cockpit, tow is driving up.
There we go. And I will keep the legs page also because I need it for my navigation. Stow you. So we're ready to get going. Finally. Sierra Delta, Charlie 1, Charlie 2, and then on, I think it must be a Bravo here. No, Whiskey, onto Whiskey to Quebec 3 or Whiskey 3 or something like that. And we have a nice long runway.
All doors, hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Checked. Let's just have a last one. Now we have some extra time. Yeah, so I have actually, to be honest, I have been dreading this flight a bit, simply because it's a long flight, and if you don't have any ATC and stuff like that, it can be a big drag. But we should be getting some clear weather and maybe some clouds. We do have a bit of clouds here. I didn't expect that actually for Nice, but I do expect us to see a great deal of the Spanish heartland, and maybe we will catch a sneak peek.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
sneak peek of the Pyrenees once we pass Barcelona. So there's the parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Starting engines 2 and 1 in sequence, starting 2. But a really nice scenery actually, other than the missing... there's something wrong since we are... Just stopped there for a bit. So with the gouge's reflection, I get this white glare on my eye. So I like the reflection here of the glass, like it looks really good. But for these here, I will leave it on for now, but I really don't enjoy that big white streak. It's not like you can put sunglasses on either in I think you can do, but it's don't want sunglass look. Starting 1. Still don't see any gate numbers, actually. 3, 4, 5, fuel. Three, 2, 1, pop. There we go. GT is dropping, looking good. So we can do kill the APU. And full forward, full back, full left, center, right, rudder, left rudder, looking good.
Operation
like
complete.
this.
Set parking brake.
And set parking brake. And we can set
Disconnecting tow.
5.
Standby.
Put the peters on. So yeah, I'll just wait for him to disconnect, and then I think we'll do the checklist. Oh, we can do the checklist now, that's fine. Generators are on, prop heat is on, anti-ice off, isolation valve is auto, engine start switches were continuous, and recall is checked, auto brake RTO, engine start levers, idle detent, flight controls are checked, and ground equipment is clearing. So that's the before taxi checklist, and still no ATC to speak of. We are monitoring Unicom, so that's all good.
Tow disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time on other side flight.
Bonsoir. Au revoir. Thank you. So that's it for France. We will be seeing a little bit of France, or the first officer will, as we are leaving for Portugal. Really is a nice airport this here, and a fun approach that I definitely need to avenge myself on later on, maybe perhaps in daylight. Bypass pin, and we are ready to go. And we are looking for Sierra and Charlie. So we need to avoid turning early here on Delta, I think. Actually, might need to go all the way over there. Yeah. So the local time here is 14:40 or 2:40 p.m. and that is aligned with my local time where I'm actually set in Norway. So it is about this time that some ATC starts showing up, so that should be Delta, right? So we are continuing on Sierra, then Charlie will come up here. And as we are departing down to my, I don't think I'll be looking much out the window though, but down to my left side we'll have a famous area in Nice. It's a promenade along the beach called the Promenade des Anglais. I might be wrong, pronouncing it wrong, the English Promenade. Quite famous. I've been there a few times. It's quite nice there. But we will be passing parallel to that. There's an EasyJet parked. Very nice scenery. So basically straight ahead should be onto Charlie 1. Obviously we'll be watching for any traffic inbound on 04 left. And before coming online I did check the real world traffic to make sure that we are taking off the right direction as per real world procedures. Clear here. There's a 04 left coming from there. Can't see any traffic, so we'll just scoot over.
Approaching 04 left.
The windbags looks like a normal wind for Nice, that they always have this crosswind component. We'll just check whether I can just...
Lima, Foxtrot, Mike, November, airport information, Juliet 1230, Zulu, weather, wind 147, at 8, visibility 10,000, sky condition, few clouds at 3,000, temperature 28, 2.20, QNH 1018, advise on initial contact, you have information, Juliet.
Yes, we do have an 8-knot crosswind component when taking off, so it will need to apply some rudder and some controls there to have a decent at least have a decent takeoff roll. Not too much wobbliness. We will most likely wobble a little bit, but we'll take that. Take it as it comes. So here's the Côte d'Azur. See, actually see the color of the water. You really just want to sit out on that boat all day, drinking wine. So we'll take this one here, qwerk 3. That will do us nicely. And then we be looking for any traffic. Let's say we are cleared. And we can pop this up.
Approaching 04 right.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Thank you. So we're looking for 043. No other online traffic from what I can see in the
On
airport.
runway 04 right.
Yeah, so we need the 480, was it? 420, 480, 420. And then we'll turn right, and if you look straight ahead you will see the reason why we turn right, because we have this terrain here on the other side of the bay. And we are at 141. Yeah, that's good enough. So set up to 40. We have flaps 5, green lights, TRR rate and 5.5 units D-stab. That's our takeoff. So it looks good. And let's leave France. So quite early, quite low turn actually, so I'll be focused on that. That's the crosswind.
80 knots.
wobble.
Positive rate.
There was the wobble. Take the gear.
400.
It's 420. Start the right turn.
$1,000.
And we can start. And the next turn. Flaps up. Put it on top. Oops. I will do this okay. So that's the multitasking things that happens when you are focusing actually on flying the aircraft. So I did take one waypoint further out that I had planned. So there's some clouds. Command A and clean up the aircraft. And we can do that after takeoff checklist. Engine bleeds are on, packs are auto, flaps are up and off, and landing gear up. Landing gear up and off, flaps up, no lights after takeoff checklist completed. And let's clear us up to our final cruise. There we go. And we are still below, so speed is good. Bit wobbly departure here actually. So what we'll do, we will clear us direct to Lama. Just to avoid all of this wibbly wobbly stuff, and what we would expect with if we had some ATC as well. Instead of all of this here, we could just go straight out. There's no traffic here, so we're good. Coming up on 10. There we go. And pressurizing nicely. So basically soon enough we'll be turning right and follow the over the ocean, of course, but follow the French Mediterranean coast all the way down to Barcelona and Girona, Pyrenees, and then we'll start our trek over the Spanish heartland. But that's basically it, so not much to do now than to ignore this and then to climb. And I will get myself a drink here and I forgot, as always, to set up my butt kicker. It is running now. Yeah, so around 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. ish, we should be at or very close to touching down in Lisbon, and then I think I'll be parking the aircraft in a turnaround state, and I will go and grab me a crew dinner, and I'll jump back into the cockpit, file a new flight plan, and we will head on to Alicante. So what we can do, just monitoring a bit of the flight here in this first phase, because that's usually where things can go south. But what we can do is, a little bit of turbulence there. What we can do is review our trip, because I did prepare some. Oops. So I did. We'll need to redo it. I'll do that after the turn. So we'll just sit you here. On to Airport. Oh, Apollo. Not Airport, Apollo. Climbing nicely here. And boom, boom, boom. Two. Close that down. Away you go. I don't know what happened to the fantastic map. Maybe we can just reload it. I have very mixed feelings about this gouge reflection. It does look more realistic, and I really do like it, and I want to like it, and I really like it on these small gouges here. Here you can see it. He is heading all home to Portugal. Senor Escobar. So let's just zoom in. That's a map. A bit thinly. Not much traffic, but we are early on. People need to get home from school and work and everything. We do have some radar going on here, but that's not in our. So here we are over the coast. We'll basically be flying here, hitting Girona and Barcelona around here, then straight over Spain, over Madrid, onto Lisbon, where we will be having to take a look at the approach we have set up, and I hope to do then Alicante. So that's basically again across Spain. I do know I did talk about going to Gibraltar, but I want to stay true to the project, and then we can't really go to Gibraltar. So Alicante, and actually after Alicante, the next stop will be Italy. Will be I think we'll go to Naples. We have Mount Vesuve and everything, real nice to see. But for now, we are heading to Portugal, right here. But what I wanted to show you, let me find the pictures here. I'm quite sure I opened those pictures. Maybe they shut themselves down, I don't know. maybe they just went away. That's a shame. I wanted to show you our routing and everything, so we had something to chat about. That's very odd. Not this, not this. No, they're not there. That's a shame. Maybe I'll jump out of VR at some point and just quickly open them up so we can have a look. Basically, it shows it's a very colorful and easy to understand map that will explain or show what countries we have visited and which countries we are yet to see. I'll go all the way back here now. And also roughly estimated routes of our flight or project, as we have a very nice view here of the coastline. So we can close this down now. Open up Lisbon, and we'll set all this soon enough, but I wanted to have a look here. So that's Toulon coming in here. Next up is Montpellier, big harbor city. Even get some finger smears on the screen here. But the weather should be quite uninteresting, to be honest. Do have some weather here actually over Barcelona, but at least until we get to the coast here with Girona, Barcelona, we will not have much weather. Then we'll have some clouds here. Shouldn't be anything special. I think the most exciting weather is actually this year at Barcelona. It could be some CB and some thunderstorms, maybe not. And as you can see in Portugal, it looks quite peaceful. There's some weather, but it's far out. So yeah, not much to say. As you can see, I have prepared our geography lesson. We'll just wait a little bit with that. And yeah, let's get I have both VATSIM maps available actually, because I can't really decide which ones are better for VR. So traffic wise, we don't have much going on here. Maybe here. First officer should have a nice view of Toulon now. It's the harbor and everything. So. Got to keep up to date with this one here. That's what happens when you start chatting away here. So there's this guy. Must be yeah, so we're definitely climbing above him, so we are, so he's at 31,000 I think. That's this guy. He's even heading away from us. EasyJet from I can make out Gatwick, is it? To somewhere in Italy. And we have traffic behind us here. looks like from Munich to yeah, that's a Norwegian flight. Actually, that's quite funny. It wasn't long ago he just checked my Facebook, and I actually noticed him posting a screenshot of his Norwegian livery going from Munich to Mallorca. So that's this guy. Cool. That's a nice flight as well, Mallorca.
1,000 to go.
There's Torreon coming up. And I need to reset my seating as well. I'm a bit off-centered here, so just excuse me. And we're almost at our cruise. We'll go direct to Divco, just to avoid wobbliness. It's a real shame with those pictures I wanted to show you. So I think actually once we're really stabilized, when our speed and everything is good in cruise, I'll just quickly scoot out of VR, and I'll show you the maps, and we'll chat a bit about those, and then we'll do our learning about Portugal thing. And once we have done that, we can start looking at our descent and approach and figure out how we'll do that. I think that's the plan. So he's 20 mile out. Way clearer. He is quite high, so and still climbing even. That's this guy here, going to 37 by the looks of it, so will clear us nicely. Not even sure we'll get a good look at him. Maybe we'll get. Yeah, we can actually clear everyone. Forgot to do that. We might actually get a good look at him. Going from Girona, by the looks of it, to LD. I'm not quite sure where that is actually. A little bit of turbulence. There's the water, the Mediterranean far below us. And he should be quite close actually. See if we can see him. He's behind us. Yeah, there he is. I don't know if you can see him. Nice. So, that's the traffic cleared, and the Norwegian flight to Mallorca is well behind us and above. That's actually at the same flight level, but he should be well behind us, hopefully. Do think we'll be going maybe just slightly on the same track for a while. He'll be going over here and then he'll be turning, I think. So we just need to keep an eye out for him. Yeah, we are at the same flight level, so we'll just we are ahead of him, so I'm not quite sure about who gives way to who in Unicom, but maybe he should be, since he is behind us, he has the better overview of distance and whatnot, so I actually think he might be the guy who needs to, I think he's like 20 miles at least behind us. But I do think that he should be the one to decide if he wants to climb a bit or descend 1,000 or deviate just slightly. So what I'll do now is actually just quickly jump out of VR, and I'll find those pictures that I want to share with you, and we can have a look at those together. So 1 second. And here we are back in VR after a few seconds, and we started our turn. So just follow up on that. And I have no visual on the, yeah, you can just barely make him out there on the at least 20 miles separation, so it should be quite fine. Anyway, as you can see, I have found my awesome map using my awesome paint skills. It's quite dumbed down, so it's easy to understand. So our first country we visited was Germany, then we went on to the Netherlands, to Amsterdam, and we shall be turning soon again, I think. Yeah. And then we went on to Belfast, and from there to Wales and Scotland, London, Dublin, then to Luxembourg, and from Luxembourg we arrived there at Nice, around here. Now we are flying all the way to Portugal and Spain. But as you can see, we have a whole lot of countries over here to the east. Now these countries, they are big and nice, and they make up a great deal of the European Union. So we have a lot of smaller countries like Croatia and Slovenia, Hungary, all of these here. And of course the Baltic states, and all of these here, Romania, Bulgaria, Greece. We'll go all the way to Cyprus as well, and we also have a teeny weeny tiny Malta down here that we need to visit. Very easy to overlook and forget, but we actually need to go to Malta. So I think after Italy, Naples, we'll go to Malta. Actually, I can show you on the other map the route. It's not definite, okay? So I am at liberty to make route changes here, guys. So it looks like the Norwegian guy is turning. Yeah. Anyhow, we are here on our route now. So we started in Berlin. Actually, we started in Oslo, but it doesn't really count since Norway is not a member country of the European Union. So we flew to Berlin and started. That was the first country, right? And then the route I just talked you through here. Here we are. Then look at the length of this flight leg here. 1,500 kilometers. If you look at our progress page, top of descent 600, and so just over an hour, really. The top of descent, an hour and 15 minutes. So we'll be cruising for quite a while here. Next leg will seem quite short comparison to what we're doing now, and then again we have another long trek, basically the same distance more or less. We'll be crossing most of the western part, half of the Mediterranean really, over Ibiza, just over. Now this is just a straight route, so the flight plan might change that, but over Mallorca, then over Sardinia, and Costa Smeralda, which is here, I think, might be wrong, and then to Naples, and from Naples down to Malta, quite short flight. And from Malta we'll be going onwards to Corfu in Greece. We could be doing some of the more popular items like Kos or maybe Athens, but I like Corfu, and I do have some nice scenery I do have the Corfu scenery, which is very nice, so I would like to use that. On from Corfu we will have again decent chunk of flying to do, at least over an hour and 20 minutes maybe even more. Down to Cyprus, and from Cyprus we'll scoot up to sunny coast in Varna in Bulgaria, and from there we'll go over to Split in Croatia. It's a really nice airport to fly into, and from there we'll go to is it Bucharest in Romania, I think so. And from there we will go on to why isn't the country name here? Slovenia. Yeah, I think Slovenia. No, Hungary. Yes, sorry, I'm using no in my own language. I mean Hungary. Sorry guys from Hungary. So that must be Budapest, right? And then to Slovenia. And from Slovenia we'll scoot up to Prague. And from Prague we'll go to Slovakia. Very short flight here. And from Slovakia we will do the famous or infamous Innsbruck in Austria. And from Innsbruck we'll start going easterly to Poland, Lithuania, then Estonia, I think, and from Estonia down to Latvia, and from Latvia to Helsinki in Finland, and then to Stockholm, Aalborg in Denmark, and then we will finish up in Brussels. So what is this flight leg? This is leg number 10. So let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can't be leg 9. 1, 2. Yeah, so that, yeah, the reason, because I count, if I count the other one, then it's 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, so it's leg number 10, and we still have. Let's just have a look at the map. Nice to keep aware of where we are in case of anything. So we're coming up on Girona, Perpignan, Girona. So we're at the border. Do see some mountains in there, so that should be the Pyrenees shortly loading in. So we have after this leg we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 legs to go. So guys, we're not even halfway through this project. It is a large project, almost as a world tour. Let's see here, 20,000 kilometers or 12,300 miles, and that's straight lines. So can expect even more so. So quite a tour we're on, really. But it's fun. It's fun to see something different. At least for me, flying a lot of my flights in Scandinavia, Northern Europe, then it's nice to get out and see something different. So there's just Perpignan and Girona. So the first officer is really getting all of the use a little bit of. We're moving a little bit in the wind here. So yeah. So that was the map, guys. Let's just see why he is flashing all about. Let's just check our map as well. Here we are. Norwegian guys well behind us. Going to turn down to Palma de Mallorca very soon. Quite clear of traffic for a little while. At least no ATC by the looks of it. Nope. Not yet, at least. Do have a little bit of traffic around here, but we should be quite alone during the crossing of Spain, I think. These are quite popular destinations to fly to, for the British guys at least. So let's learn a little bit about where we're going. there we go. Portugal. Portugal is a southern European country on the Iberian Peninsula, bordering to Spain. Its location on the Atlantic Ocean has influenced many aspects of its culture. Salt cod and grilled sardines. Salt cod and grilled sardines are national dishes. The Algarve's beaches are a major destination, and much of the nation's architecture dates to the 1500s and 1800s, when Portugal had a powerful maritime empire. Yeah, they were quite powerful. They have a lot of history of exploration and naval warfare and stuff like that. Currency is euro, of course, European country. Currently home to, or in 2017, home to 10.3 million, so maybe they are closer to 11 million now. There's the flag. Fun fact, I think it's in Brazil they speak Portuguese, and somewhere else, so it's quite a large language, to be honest. Let's just pause this. I want to have a good look from the FO side. So there's the Pyrenees, looking really good here. Yeah, so we're basically we are looking at the border, France and Spain, and the weather I was talking about, if we have any weather, would be somewhere around here, but I don't see anything coming up on the weather radar, so I think actually we're clear of that. Turning a bit here. There we go. So onwards with our lesson here. So let's do some fun facts. The official name of Portugal is the Portuguese Republic. Didn't know that. Portugal is the westernmost country of the European mainland. The country also holds sovereignty over the Atlantic archipelagos or islands of the Azores and the Madeira Islands, where we have Funchal, the fun approach, but I don't want to. I want to fly there, but I don't want to make this project and something that goes on forever. And there's quite a long trek out there. Have been there, so, but that will be for another video. Portugal is populated. Yeah, we know that. A bit about their maritime history and exploration. Henry the Navigator, Vasco da Gama and Alvarez Cabral founded new lands and colonies, making Portugal a major economic, political and military power, ultimately dividing the world with Spain. Yeah, you can say that. The Portuguese Empire was the longest lived in modern European empires and was spread throughout areas that now make up 53 different sovereign states. The legacy of this exploration is that the language of Portuguese is today the 6th most spoken language in the world, with over 240 million speakers. That's quite impressive for a country at originally 11 million, or currently. They had even fewer back in the days. Over the years, the Portugal Empire has slowly been broken up, with Brazil gaining independence after the revolution in 1910, and the African colonies and Angola, Mozambique, Sao Tome and Principe, Timor-Leste, Cabo Verde and Guinea-Bissau in 1974. Portugal was one of the original member states of the Eurozone in 1999 and replaced the Portuguese escudo with euro at this time. Okay. Lisbon is the capital and the largest city in Portugal. It is the oldest city in Western Europe and one of the oldest cities in the world. I didn't know that. Lisbon was devastated by a major earthquake in 1755. Although the city was rebuilt within a few years, the quake led to the country losing much of its wealth and status. It's a sad way to lose your power. So, 31. a lot of turning around. So that's Girona and Barcelona coming up. Oh, Mallorca this way. So we can go straight to Barcelona. Still eating Ender. There we go. So last but not least, let's listen to the national anthem of Portugal. I've never heard, I have actually heard it, I think, but a Portuguesa doesn't have any translation. See the European countries, members of the Union. So I think we'll leave it at that and conclude our history lesson. Was quite enlightening. I did actually learn something new about the language and stuff. So here we are, Nice, where we left. So well on our way. Still got a good way to go. Doesn't seem like we have any traffic to worry about as of now. And a good view of the edge of the Pyrenees mountains, so I'll just jump quickly to the first officer's side as well to grab that view. And for just for your information, for all of Spain and Portugal, I'm not using conventional ortho photos. There are some guys made some amazing work making some scenery called Spain Ultra HD, and I've not read too much into it, but I believe it is a mixture of custom meshes and textures and even some ortho photo here and there to make it as good as you can get it, and it really looks awesome from here, really as you would expect it to look. There's it's almost sand colored because of the heat, right? All the fields and the green mountains, and you have the Pyrenees out there. The weather looks actually quite nice. No, nothing that could look like a storm. So there's up ahead is Barcelona. Let me just get back into the right seat, captain's seat, sorry. So what I would like to do is just have a look at our approach as we're passing over Barcelona. So first of all, we're going to 374, so we can put that at 400 set. Don't really want to miss Barcelona. It's the last real big thing you'll see in a while. So arrival, and that's where we have our issues, right? What we could do is just look through the charts here. So most of the arrival routes I think will take us out over the ocean due to terrain. So that's so what I'll do instead, I'll just scoot through them just to see if anything looks maybe do the no. destroyer 8 Alpha. Looks quite good actually. We'll leave him there. Oh. This is the one we have. This is the one we have, the in-bomb. So that's in-bomb. And if we could go directly to FTM, or even PT405. I think that will be what we'll be doing. And here's Barcelona, right below us, a big harbor, lots of cruise vessels leaving there for Mediterranean cruises. So in-bomb. Let's zoom this out a bit just to Melon, CCS Elvar. And from Elvar we could go, instead of turning up to in-bomb, we could go to PT. From Elvar to PT. And we'll just have to optics. Sorry guys for being a bit quiet, just need to get this right. We need to redeem ourselves after the last landing in Nice. So at PESEX it wants us to stay at 4,000 or above. So at the CF03, and then 4,000 above at PESEX, then 11 miles to the runway. And then a vector onwards by the looks of it. Goes on indefinitely, so it's just 60. So now we're heading over the mainland. So it's goodbye to the ocean. Next time we will see the ocean will be the Atlantic Ocean actually. So that's the Mediterranean. We will see shortly when we go back to Alicante. But for now it's onwards over Spain. And we can leave this. So PT405, there's need to be at 4,000, right? Need to be at 13. So we skip the FTM, go straight to PT 405. Where we could be at 13.5. 7,000 and above. Yeah, we need to be higher than that. And then we're on to obliques. 8,000. PT 401. 7,000. I'll just set these at high altitudes because that's actually the altitude I would want to be at. And PT 402, 6,300. Do we have that? The next one is PT 422 at 5,000. And then it's PESX 4,180. Leave it as is, 4,000 and above. And there's the Spanish coastline. Now just look at this coast, right? So this mesh is just awesome. So I really recommend it. You can just, I don't know, I can't really remember all the links I have in the video descriptions. I do think maybe it's there. If not, just go online on the org forum or Google it. It's called Spain Ultra HD Mesh Uniform Hotel Mic, and it should pop up. It's a Spanish website, Spanish guys, and you can download for all of Spain and the islands and Portugal, the Pyrenees. So it's a quite awesome mesh to have. Lacuna, Rose, and I'm not sure what you call this here. Tarragona. Not too familiar with it. Probably a big shipping industry port. A little bit of lag there. Not much to say on the weather. Some high clouds though, but nothing too funky. So just look at the speeds here. And at Charlie Foxtrot 03 we are at 4,174. PESX we are at 162, 4,000. And 11 miles out. That will glide down at 3 degrees on an ILS approach. That looks good. So I can vouch for that. So let's get back here. Basically straight ahead. Nothing really going on. Okay, Let's get the charts out also, and just so we have them. I'm interested in the approach. Let's for runway 03. And we can tune Lisbon actually. 114.8. Won't be getting anything for a long while, but good to have it ready. So 109.1. There we go. So that's tuned. Yep. And we have a minimum of 529. So what we'll do is we'll put this out and get our mouse going. $529. So that's the barrel set. Boom. No traffic for a good while, and no ATC either. Minimums are set, and heading is 026. And straight ahead to flight level 7000. That's quite easy, so we'll even tune this one here. Then we'll, should we have a missed approach, we'll self vector, so climb up 7000 or something, and then we'll turn right over the sea and do a new approach. Sorry, turn left. Just need to have a view here of first officer's side. I'm not too good to get to this seat and get the view from here, so when I remember it, I need to do it. And the Pyrenees are dissipating into the distance, and you can see the rugged, almost desert-looking terrain of Spain here. Beautiful area. Just get seated correctly. Here we go. So we have this here is ready. Lisbon is tuned. The ILS is tuned. Get the airport as well. We'll be coming in 03. Exit here somewhere and go to the terminal, so we can get the parking stands out as well, just in case we get any ATC. There's some nice taxi instructions as well. So basically the approach we will be flying is skipping all of this. No reason to go up there. Will be plentiful high. Then we'll go into PT 405 and then over the coast via Pessex. So you could say we're doing the INBOM arrival, but we're really not. We're doing parts of the INBOM 7 kilo. Well, where are we now? Heading in over the land, still have the Mediterranean in view. So the next really big thing we'll be seeing is Madrid. We're passing almost straight over. So yeah, looking good. Well on our way. Been flying for 1 hour now. And yeah, I just wanted also, good thing I did that, so I remembered to just see what VNav have planned for us in our top of descent. Just need to catch a drink, guys. So 523 track miles. Yeah, not looking too bad actually. And it estimates there will be around 7 tons at arrival. $63.5. We will review that later on. So what we can do also is let's get in some situational awareness going here. Love these rings, they really do help you a lot. Because you don't have to sit and squint your eyes and stay focused on these numbers down here. You have a big fat visual circle, nothing to get confused about. There we go. What we can do as well, actually, set up our descent forecast. That's a bit more to drink. Maybe I have to go to the loo at some point. But as you can see, no real weather. Nothing to... Oh! Is that ATC that my eyes are... Yep. We actually have tower ATC here. That means that there's an ATC... Yeah, there we go. ATC 124.15. So I'll just disrupt this. That was nice. Nice surprise. 124.25. Oh, it went away again. So, what's it? 1.5, sorry. How's range maps? The ground and the tower is 118.1. And as we get closer, I will tune the ground as well. That was cool. Nice to have. Nice to have that going. Not that. Last views of the Mediterranean Sea. And awesome textures and terrain here of Spain. Really looks good. $50. So we will do 31, 15 and 10 I think. There we go. 35 and 31 has no big difference. Yeah. So 31 we have 254 29. And 2279. And 17611. Let's have a look at the latest QNH there. So you can see, didn't really see much of this weather here. It looks quite nice in Lisbon actually. I bet you they will change the runway just to make it hard on me. So I can find the airport here. So it would make sense for them actually to use this here runway and not 03. 7 knots wind, QNH 1019. Set. Oh. Set. We can just pop this in here as well. No, it's good enough for us. And well on our way to our top of descent in around 40 minutes time. Even more, 50 minutes actually. So we'll basically be crossing all of Spain. Look at this terrain here. It's insane. Those mountains, eh? Very good looking terrain actually. Really recommend the Spain HD. So I really would like to get the 80s. So there we have it in text. That's good. 03 in use. Transition level is 5, so we can actually pop that in here. It's already set. And after landing, vacate via Hotel November. Let's just have a look at that. That's all the way up here, so that's the way we vacate. 8 knots. Variable between 270 and 360. QNH, yeah. Comply with speed limitations unless otherwise instructed by 80. So we could get maybe some comments on our we have set the speed and the altitude. You can just cross check it just to make absolutely sure. So we looks like we're well within our believe we are good, and hopefully they will won't mind us vectoring. But we will keep this up in case they contact us and ask us to go to FTM. Then of course we will comply. But hopefully they will just scoot us in here or something. And we even got control, Portuguese control as well. 125.55. So actually, I could need. Yeah, we will just wait, stay on Unicom, and then we will change Unicom once we get closer. We have ground and tower as well. So we'll keep this handy, that's for sure. Cool! I didn't expect to get ATC so early on, so that's just awesome. No real traffic around us, so we are quite on our own out here. So yeah, this here is about the time when the flight can become. I don't know, maybe you have done plenty of longer flights yourself, but this is about where things can become a little bit trivial. I kind of enjoy the terrain, or nice mesh, looks really good. Yeah, so now it's just basically kick back, monitor the instruments, make sure everything's looking good. Fuel wise, we are still 1.3 tons in the center tank. We will be have finished our center tank well before arrival. So landing altitude is set, and we have set the forecast and fixed, and yeah, we have done all we can now, really. So Portuguese control will no doubt give us he will no doubt give us a squawk, and we will need to communicate and coordinate with him our descent. And then I hope quite early on we can get in contact with the tower in Lisbon, so we can get some feeling for what he wants us to do. We even have a steady headwind here. Does look like Europe is coming alive, but I hope they stay online at least. It does take a little while for us to get all the way out there, but hopefully they will stay put and give us some good ATC that we can follow, hopefully. Hopefully they have good sound quality as well. I'm waiting eagerly for the new VATSIM codec that the UK guys tested this past Sunday. I'm waiting eagerly for it to be implemented. Because VATSIM is many things, but good sound quality is hard to come by at times, and it really can ruin the experience of both the controllers and the pilots. So it really needs to get an update, which it will get very soon, and I cannot wait. So what we can do, actually, we could give ourselves just a we'll stay on our course, just let the waypoints come and go. Could go and have a look in the cabin now that we have time for that. Here we are, at cruise over Spain. With our virtual passengers. And just aircraft just gently swaying in the wind now and then. One thing I'd wish for do wish for VR, because you cannot, for the time being, you can't actually set your viewpoints. They are fixed. You cannot create custom viewpoints. That's all well and fine, and we do have a good selection of viewpoints, but I would love them to make maybe even more viewpoints, preferably some in the back. There are none in the back. We are pretty much a generic view of Spain. There's not much going on the ground, so nothing to do with the mesh or quality of that. Yeah, so this here is the furthest back that you can go, actually. You can steal a view here. So that's a wing view. Yeah, it's about now I would order a meal and just sit and meditate away by the look. I gotta love this sim, really, right? So let's and I do think that we could get our jump seat view. Yeah, so here's our jump seat view. Just see if I can close this. Have Madrid up to, and also it just looks like we're going just south of Madrid. We do have, I think we have a bit, yeah, our FPF is stable. We do have Madrid loading in, major cities. Everything is looking just fine. Get back into the captain's seat. There we go. Just have a look at the engines. Yeah, everything is looking nicely there. And we are just still a while out. Here we are, we're going basically just going south of Madrid. We'll be turning slightly so we'll go more or less over, but bet you that the FO will have the best view of Madrid once we get there. So thus far we have flown this way here, right? And we're past our halfway mark. So about an hour to go, I think. And since they want us to vacate there, well, remember I just set this to 2. We'll do an auto brake 2 there. Don't need to slow down too much. It's right at the very end of the runway, so. Turning towards Madrid. Could close the door again. No need to listen to all those toilets being flushed all the time. And we can get our move VR back out. So are you guys stoked about the, or not maybe, about the new Microsoft Flight Sim coming out? I do have a few videos on the channel about it, and I will follow it closely, especially any news that regards virtual reality flying, because I'm, to be honest, not really interested in the 2D thing. So they can make it as realistically as they want, even photoreal, and I will still not be flying 2D. It's only VR for me. So, but it looks like they are taking that very much into consideration, and what I'm very interested in learning is how they will manage to make this awesome sim with these almost photoreal looks, if not photoreal, run smoothly in VR along with the volumetric clouds that they have announced and everything else that seems to be going on. There are also speculations about them using, I think is it Google Static? I do think that actually is going to end up being the future of gaming in general. So now I'm already deviated to a whole other topic that on the flight sim. But basically what the thought is about the future is that nowadays the gaming community, the people who use gaming, let's say, so the parts of the world that has the largest consumer mass of PC games, have such good internet quality nowadays that streaming a game directly from a server, playing it that way, would make sense, and that would be good and bad, because basically that means that the game is running and being rendered and everything by the game provider, right? So you don't really have to worry about graphic cards and stuff like that anymore. Yeah, you do have, but it's not really your computer specs that limits you in the same degree that it does today, since you're just streaming the game like you're streaming a movie or something else. And rumor says that maybe that's how they'll do it with the new Microsoft Flight Sim. I think that it'll be a choice, and that's how they with all games. Basically, there will be an overlapping period where you can choose to be streaming it or be playing it from your own PC. Nice fields down there. That looks really good. So, but I'm quite stoked. I really hope that they make it work and you can get like a fluent VR experience with the volumetric clouds. The volumetric clouds is really something that I don't have it on my wish list video, but that would be so awesome. I'll tell you why. First of all, you will have the clouds moving in the scenery. You will not have this weather redrawing. Maybe a bit, but I think it will be more smooth, and you will have clouds actually moving with the wind, and more realistic depiction of clouds. And most coolest thing has nothing to do with with actually flying, to some degree, but when you fly at night, if you fly in the clouds or through the clouds, your landing lights and whatever lights you may have on facing forward will light up the cloud. Okay, so you'll see, you can see the cloud coming up. If you're out of the cloud but nearing it, you'll see the light beams just catch it and it will come closer and closer. But also, if you're in pitch darkness and you're in doubt, are we in clouds, should I use antennas, you can actually turn on the lights and you'll see quite clearly if you're in a cloud or not. Stuff like that is just really cool. So that's how it is in real life. So that's what I'm really hoping to see come to a sim, a flight sim, and being usable in VR. They do have volumetric cloud in X-Enviro 1.1, but it's a real FPS killer and quite impossible to run in VR as of today. But hopefully, in some near future, we'll get that. That would be so awesome. I'm a bit curious coming into Lisbon here with the ATC. We will check the ATC soon again, just to make sure we have no issues with the runway change or anything like that. If we do, then we'll just have to work our way around it. So Madrid should be on the FO side, so I'll just have a drink and we'll jump to the FO side and have a look. Yeah, so there's the airport in Madrid, the city. Really dry place, ain't it? Could almost look like the deserts in the US coming into Las Vegas and something like that. Oh, we do have a tile out in the distance that hasn't loaded in. It's just a rough textures. But it's really hard to make out the city though. You can see it, but the reason why is that you have downtown Madrid right there, but they have this red stone roofing, and that blends in perfectly with the terrain. So from this altitude, you can see the cities obviously, but it's very well camouflaged. Actually, the most visible thing in the city is the airport over there. And to think 1 week ago we were in rainy Belfast, I think, or Scotland. So there's this event. I have the date in my calendar. I did forget. There's this next Cross the Pond event on VATSIM that I am thinking I should participate in. I can't remember if we go east-west or west-east. I should really be preparing for that as well. But that should also be a very long trek. I do think if I do it, I will choose to record it and share it with you guys. So yeah, I'm contemplating that, but I imagine that would be because the event, I think most people, normal people, will of course take a suitable aircraft to do it in a one-leg flight. but of course I will not do that. I will do it in the 737, and that means that we will have to touch down during the flight, preferably on Iceland, and then maybe in Canada. But I'll have to do some reading on the event just to. Actually, I could do some reading events. Should we try? Okay. Yeah, so here you have all the events. So what we're looking for is the name. See if I can use the mouse here, and I can close it. So if you haven't tried the Zurich Nights, I recommend. I have done it a few times. They're really good, well organized. Back to school, crossing the continent. Panic stations. Maybe they haven't posted it here yet. Crossing the continent, what's that? Let's stretch the hours on these airliners. Join us on Saturday, 14th of September for the Crossing the Continent event. This event will be flown from Dubai to Cape Town. So that's across Africa. Departures begin at 8 Zulu from Dubai. Plan accordingly. ATC will be available for the whole route. We'll see you there. Preferred route. Yeah, so they doesn't look like they're accommodating any touchdowns, but you could do whatever you want, really. That sounds cool, actually. Maybe I should consider that. So let's see if we can get our map out again. Yeah, so we have... Actually, I do need to get to the toilet. We have 185, so we have 15 minutes until you really have to be at your battle stations. So what I could do is really quickly maybe just run to the toilet. Just it's really a pain to be stressed in that way, and I do have the time, so I'll just cut the video here. If you want to know how long I've cut the video, you can look at the clock here, and I will look at it when I jump back into VR, but I will hurry, I promise you. So I will be right up and be right back. So here we are, guys, back in business. Sorry for that interruption, but even the captain has to go to the loo now and then, and that's just a part of the immersion. Just be glad that I didn't wear the VR headset on the bathroom. I don't know even if the wire is that long. Anyhow, I can see we are cruising well along here. Still got a little while before we are at the top of the sensor. Yes, not much going on, just cruising over the central part of Spain. Nothing really interesting city-wise, or any famous cities around. Maybe there are if you're from here, but at least none that I'm aware of. So we are passing over some river, I think. Do know of one big river, Rio Ebro. I think that's how they pronounce the rivers down here. It's Rio. So, but I don't know quite where it is. So here we should have a river down below us somewhere. Does seem like there's a valley of sorts. Maybe the first officer has a better. There should be this big reservoir over here. Yeah, it's down there. Thought maybe it's dried out, but it looks quite full. And some rural terrain here. Looks really warm down there, doesn't it? Actually, we can check our weather app and see exactly how warm it is. So 1 hour and 40 minutes has been flown. Just zoom this out. Update the weather, just make sure nothing. So we are somewhere here, so yeah, it's about 30 degrees. We do have actually, doesn't show up. I think we are somewhere here. Maybe, or no, we must be here, right? Yeah, somewhere down here. And it's 35 degrees, oh my god. And that's, when it says that, that's just, they're always conservative, so I bet you could easily find a spot down there, stand there, it'll be over 40 degrees. Damn. And a long way from the coast too, so it's just not to jump in the ocean. You could of course jump in the lake. I bet you that's what they do. I do bet you that what they do is that they stay inside during the hottest part of the day. What I'll do, I'll shut down our geography windows here. We don't need them anymore. And have a look at the H's here. Still runway, still the same H's. So close that, and then what I'll do is that I'll try to get our controller frequency here, 125.55. Because we will need to discuss our 125.55. There's no traffic around us, no one taking off, no big airports, so I'm confident to go off Unicom. Also sometimes these controllers here, if they're not too busy, they like to grab you in. If they know that you're heading this way, they'll grab you in early. Even if, also so they can help really direct the descent. So we have that tuned, and then we have what's 1.1, we have the tower tuned, and last but not least we'll need the ground. Let's leave this as is now. So we'll change the ground once we park at where we are supposed to be. And a bit of traffic on the ground as well. I bet you he will ping us in not too long. That's Portugal control. So we are nearing our the point where we have spent our center fuel tank, and it approximates a little more fuel burn by 0.02. So the question is, should we update that? Could actually do that. Actually we won't, because we expect vectoring and maybe a little less fuel burn So the 200 kilos we can manage that. So it isn't too crazy off. Closing on the border to Portugal now. And I don't know if it comes out on your recording, I do have some flickering shadows on the ground from these clouds here if you look down. I did have that issue quite badly when we were at the apron in Luxembourg. So what I am suspecting is causing is that I have no anti-aliasing set basically all the way down on the slider in my graphics menu. And I let the OVR tool do the rendering. I have it at 1.5 in super sampling. Yeah, there it is. And I think that could be the reason. So we'll just switch that back to text. Oh, here we go. And yeah. And what I'll do is, just in case he has some crazy thing, he will give us a squawk, no doubt. Portugal control, good afternoon, Scandinavian 511, cruising at flight level 350, inbound Charlie Charlie Sierra. Did he read us? One two five decimal 55 125. Yeah. So is he not speaking? I haven't even heard anything.
182 Unicom, 12.8, for your service, have a nice day, bye bye.
We'll wait a while and then we'll call him up again. Call him up again after when we're inbound to Elvar. Portugal control, good afternoon, Scandinavian 511, cruising at flight level 350, inbound Elvar. Well, I am doing that. 125 decimal 55. 125 decimal 55. There's the center fuel tank spent. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. There is very little chatter as well from this guy, so... Yeah, I am trying. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. One two five decimal 125.55. We have the correct. I'll just quickly jump out of VR and try to write this guy. Just Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. Okay, so I'm having some serious issues here, guys. Sorry, but for some reason he cannot hear me.
Scandinavian 511, if you copy Lisbon, Cockpit.
I'll need to get the text up and running here, so sorry. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. I'll need to jump back out of VR very quick. Sorry, guys. Okay, guys, so I just texted him and Squawk 760. So we are complying to Squawk. Lost comms. And we're well into his airspace now as well. We do have a little traffic, mostly on the ground. Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. I'll just try Lisbon Tower. Lisbon Tower, very good afternoon, Scandinavian 511. We are conducting a radio check. In worst case, guys, we'll have to just log off so we don't become a nuisance to these guys. So maybe my hotkey button has died or something, I don't know. Lisbon Tower, good afternoon, Scandinavian 511, radio check.
Central 3458, feedback correct.
Portugal control, Scandinavian 511, radio check. So I checked my microphone just now, just to see I hadn't turned it off or anything, but... It does look okay. That's very strange, guys. Haven't had that before. I have had a button fail on my yoke, so maybe it's the last button that has failed. I don't know.
Scandinavian 511, if you copy Lisboa, squawk ident.
Okay, we will just, you know what? I know it really pains me to do this, but I think I'll just disconnect, just so yeah, so we have disconnected. I'm sorry guys, but we really can't be sitting with this problem here now. And seemed like the sound quality from what I heard from the guys in Lisbon wasn't too good. I will try to sort out the microphone problems, but for now I would like to focus on our landing here in Lisbon. It's really a shame. So I will investigate after this video. So now we will start our descent. I will investigate, but without them being able to, without me being able to write on the fly on Unicom, it just becomes one great mess, basically. And I don't really want to piss anyone off, to be honest. We just got that. And we have set our auto brake, so so I will investigate that. But for now, it would just when we are one pilot in a two-pilot environment and sitting with that comms problem, that would not be too good. So so we'll do this. Unfortunately, this landing here offline from VATSIM, and I will try and do some searching for errors. I'll try logging back on and trying contacting a few controllers just to see if I have any issues with my comms button. But I just checked my settings in my client, and everything was set up as it has always been. So I don't know what might have happened. So what I'll do is try to test the button on the yoke, and if the button is broke, then we'll have to find another one, and I will have to contact the supplier of my yoke and ask kindly to be shipped a new one. So here we go, over Portugal, coming into Lisbon. It's over there somewhere. At least we do have live weather and everything is as it should be. We just don't have the ATC. Yeah, I could have held it and spent some time by the computer, by the screen, sorting things out, and be sitting there for an hour figuring things out. But I would rather just continue on with the flight and get us on the ground, and then do some sorting out there, because I don't really like the chatting back and forth with the ATC. I would much rather be talking to them. That's much more immersion giving. So. And he, of course, he couldn't really have in the terms of use of VATSIM that he should be able to write. So it's all on me. and the longer I stay and don't write back, the more I'm breaking the terms of that sim, and I will give way to them, of course. So so I'll just log off, because I can't really be running back and forth. I don't have a screen. I can't just lift my VR headset up and look at a screen. If you've seen my video of my setup, you would know what I mean. I will have to jump completely out of VR, remove the goggles and the headset, and go to the computer and write, and then back, and
1,000 to go.
it's just a mess. So we'll just descend us even more. Set us down to 7. Speed looks okay. And we will do some. There we go. And we can just review our approach here. So it has us at 47. We'll leave it as is now. And seating is correctly, so we're good on that. So here we are coming into Papa Tango 405. And we can do a PA. We haven't done any, but we can do.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we are descending. Seatbelt sign is on. If you happen to be up and about, please return to seat. Keep your seatbelt fastened for the main flight. On behalf of the flight crew, we appreciate you being with us today. Wish you a very safe and pleasant journey. Hope to see you back here with us. Thanks.
So what we'll do is that we'll shut down all of this. Don't need that for now. Boom. Even.
Lisboa information Victor. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind 360 at 10. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 26. Dew point 12. Area QNH 1019. Arriving runway 03. Departing run.
109, so it's all correct, and correct runways as well. So soon enough we'll be turning out to a second final trek out where we'll do that arch over the ocean. And Lisbon airport is over there. And we are still on the HD mesh from Spain, and as you can see, it's just, even look at the river colors, right? So it's really done well for, it's freeware, right? So we are overspeeding slightly. What we will actually just let it be as is now and monitor. We should really be at the 250 below, so we'll use the speed brake here just to slow us down. Pop us down to 5. No need to be bothered with that when we don't have. I'm really annoyed with the ATC problem. I really would have loved to have we had that perfect ATC, right? We had top-down ATC basically. We had the tower, we had ground, we had the control of Portugal. Oh, god damn it. I promise you, if it's the button on the yoke, I will make a very juicy review of the side-check yoke. I did have pop that in again. I did have the buttons on this side of the side-check yoke. They have the push button. They have died, so I'm using actually my old toga button now for push to talk. And if that has gone, then I don't really have any simple push buttons anymore. So then I'll have to figure out some other smart solution. But that really means that I'll have to. I'm sure I will get a new yoke, same yoke on the guarantee, no problems there. It's not too old, and I do know the seller were pretty good. But I know that he will have to order it, and it's a 14-day delivery time and stuff like that. So it's really bog up my project here. So I really don't want that to happen. I really hope that at least the yoke can last for the duration of that. It is a side-take yoke, as I mentioned. So here we are, on speed, on profile, looking good. Really a shame with the, but neither of the none of them could hear me, so I'm not quite sure what that's all about. And I'm really trying for the life of me to remember. I haven't done anything to my settings or my Swift client, so only logical thing. There were two things. I have this button where I can turn on and off the microphone on my headset. But it was on. Tried to reset it, still no. And then so biggest suspect really is the button, I think. But we will do I'll do a big test before before the next flight, so we'll sort it by then. So here we have the airport, passing right above it here, runway 03 down there. Really a shame that we couldn't we would have been on the tower now. So we're basically going out over the ocean. We could have maybe done a more southerly approach over the ocean, but Simbrief didn't find any, and yeah. So, and I'm not too familiar with the area either. So, you can see there's a stadium. So there are some. I do think that there are some custom buildings even for Lisbon. For this, I can't remember the scenery. I don't think it's TDG. I think it's some local guys as well who made that scenery. So you do have some stadiums you can see there. Don't know the names of those, but there are some things in Lisbon that are some buildings and stuff. So we have 400 set, and we are at 3046, and we have auto brake set to 2. Pressure station set, recalls checked, auto brake is set to 2, landing data we have minimums and set, approach briefing completed, and altimeters on the approach is also set correctly. We are QNH 1019. Seat the cabin crew as well. And we have our RS frequencies tuned. 26 set. Zoom you in a bit. It's really a damn shame with that ACC, but that is what it is, right? So it is a quite sharp turn we'll be doing here in not too long. We will try to make sure that we are nice and slow for that. So now we're dropping, so in the turn we'll go flaps 1. Look at that water, right, and that coastline. Really well made scenery here. Nice, warm day. It's at 19 now. we could bump her down. Missed approach altitude was 7,000 straight ahead, so we will just climb straight ahead, and when I am satisfied we'll turn left over the ocean and redo the approach, basically. And cabin crew, please be seated for landing. Nice and early, so they won't be tossing them around when we do the turn. The reason it says 25 is because of some discrepancy in sorry, I got some water in my throat there. Discrepancy of 1 degree from Navigraph to X-plane. So in Navigraph we have 26, and of course it's one less in X-plane, so 25. Look at that rock out there, that cliff, and it looks so good. Really good scenery. Spain Ultra HD. So coming up on the turn. Actually, we'll wait a bit with the flap 1. I think we'll manage just fine. Not too high either, so it's looking good. So we'll just set the runway heading straight away. We would have had vectors by now and great ATC coverage and chit-chatting back and forth. I'm so annoyed by that. Really am. I'm really sorry as well for that control, but these things just happen. So we have actually been quite lucky during this whole project. With I think we have had at least 50% of our time ATC coverage, and good ATC coverage. Good guys, really professional stuff. So. You can't really complain. Right over this rock. I bet you it has a name, and that is some sort of tourist attraction. They would have, in old days, they would have been standing here and looking at the ships going out to explore the Americas and stuff. Go flaps 1 now, nice and early. Oops, controller was about to float out of the last turn. Can't really make out the airport yet, but we are far out as well, so we will soon enough. So I think I can make out the airport now. We are almost 18-20 miles out. 19. We have captured the localizer, so I'll be correcting up to 025. I will wait with the flaps 5. We are very well on profile here, even a bit low actually, so don't need any. No wind, look. .7, so actually a little more heavy than predicted. We still had it. Yeah, I think it's 6.8 is a good 6.9, 6.8 at the gate. can't really see the runway. Yeah, I can see the runway now. It's up there. It's very well camouflaged in this terrain here. Nestled in the city here. We can set standard. And we'll go flaps 5. Coming up on P6. For some reason it had a double. That's why we had all the streaks going across, so good thing we noticed that. That's a bit of a dive. Or is it just me that's a bit unbalanced and confused? Maybe it is, yeah. On the approach. But that's the runway. So we can go gear down and flaps 15 nice and early today. And imagine that we are clear to land. Good. And we can do the landing checklist as well. Engine switch is continuous. Speed brake is armed. Landing it down 3 green. Flaps 15 holding on landing flap, which is today 30. Can't really see the PABIs properly yet.
2500.
So we'll set the missed approach altitude. And we have been flying for 2 hours and 18 minutes from Nice Côte d'Azur to the Atlantic Ocean, where we unfortunately missed some very good A2C. So there's Lisbon in all her glory. I think I can see the PABI lights, but they're set in some kind of sand, so the whites are a bit obscured. Coming up on 5, so we will configure flaps 30 and set reverb, which is set 150 actually. I see the PABIs now, and as I suspected, they are. You can see they are set in some sand. So it makes the whites quite difficult to see in VR actually. So soon enough, when I am comfortable with the PABIs being sharp enough for me, I will disconnect. And we have a 6 knot crosswind. On profile, looking good.
1000.
1,000 feet, stabilized, missed approach altitude set.
Disconnected and... yeah, okay. So
approaching 03.
I have found the issue, and it's not good, I can tell you that.
Light slow. Light slow. Light slow. Light slow.
500.
Don't think. Don't think.
Take the flaps up, gear up. Okay, so that wasn't good either. Yeah. I'll keep her here and I'll tell you what's going on. So what's happening, guys, is that my yoke has disconnected, and that explains my ATC issues. So I will somehow need to... So I'm flying with the VR... I'll need to... Command A. We will like this, and we can go here. And we'll go to 5. You can go down here. Okay. So
1,000 to go.
There we go. And let's see if there's somewhere we can hold. 6. I will need to jump out of VR, figure out what has happened.
Altimeter setting.
I need to... You know what? We will we'll do some hand flying here, some visual landing. But I will need to get my yoke back in order. So for some reason my yoke has completely disconnected. I'm turning it now, and as you can see, no contact whatsoever. So I will somehow have to just pull the plug and put the plug back in. Let's see here. Pulling the plug. Plug back in. Let's see what happens when I touch the yoke now. So nothing is happening. So something has happened after takeoff. It really has caused... Let's see. Let's just test the rudder. The rudder is okay. So it's the yoke that is having some issues here. I'll just try to disconnect it again. Just a second. Still nothing. So hopefully it is something settings-wise that has cocked up. It doesn't recognize it at all. So what we'll do now is just turn her back around so we don't go too far away. So what I could of course try to land her with this, but I wouldn't bet on it. Yeah, we're quite low here, so basically maybe we should be going to 7,000 just to make absolutely sure. Just monitor so it doesn't go wild here. Good thing that I remembered I could do this, otherwise we would have crashed the stick shake on it. So there's our first really big challenge of this project. So let me just think here. Here we go. Yeah, so it doesn't even read it. So in worst case I will have to... So the issue I'm having with the receiver mod is that I cannot save the flight and then load it back in at this stage. So we can do one of two things. We can say that I'm not going to fly all the way from Nice to Lisbon again. I tell you that much, and redo the video. But we can try to land the aircraft with this here, and I promise you it will end badly because it's very difficult to use this here. But we can do it on temp. Most likely we will crash. We could do the auto land stuff. Okay. So I guess we'll try to do that, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We'll just write that off to some tech issues outside of the sim. And yeah, a bit more exciting approach, but actually it was a good thing. Yeah, if I had a push to talk somewhere else than my yoke, it would have come as a very bad surprise with ACC on that sim. And once you disconnect, you have no controls whatsoever. So good thing that we actually found that out in due time. Make sure that so I have, when I sneak peek out of my headset here, it's lighting up and everything, so it is online. So only thing I can imagine is that to be honest, what I'm hoping for is that once I reset the sim, the issue will have sorted itself, and it was a one-time fluke, some software glitch somewhere in the system. Worst case, the yoke is broke, and I will have to wait a few weeks to get a new one. So hopefully it's the first thing, because it would be sad to wait 2 to 3 weeks before we can continue our journey. And I can't imagine myself not doing this for a couple of weeks, so that would be awful. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Do this. Most likely the autoland will be awful. I'll just get as low as I'm comfortable with, and then we'll do a quick flourish thing. Hopefully it will be a but ugly landing, to say the least, but it will not be a total crash. There will be a descent rate not worth looking at, and maybe even off the runway. I don't know. We do have ground control because we do have the rudder pedals working, so we can, if we get on the ground, we can salvage this. But not having the yoke working really, yeah. So it is connected. It does have power, and I have reset. I tried to unplug and plug it again, but obviously it's not talking to the sim at all. Really came close to crashing there. We had to stall and everything and just pitched up. So should make a PA to the passengers if they aren't passed out from fear. I really hope the yoke isn't broke, that it's don't really see it. If a yoke were to break, right, it would do it while I'm handling it. While I'm using it, it will stop working because of something breaking inside. But I have literally, since the takeoff at Nice, I haven't touched it. I have just been sat here, and it's been autopiloting all the way. I haven't touched it one time. Yeah, I touched it once. I tried the ATC, but that's at the point where it was broke, right? So yeah, we have done that, right? Yeah, we have reset the MCP altitude. So we should be descending here shortly. Can't have MCP acting up on me. It's my last resort of getting down, or having a chance at least of getting down. So descend, please. Actually, we will 225 as per X-plane. Flaps 1, and there's the descent. Damn. Yeah, well, good thing it was offline, it would have been mayhem otherwise. So guys, this is, if you saw the very first episode, I mentioned that we will no doubt have some tech issues show up. Flaps 2. And some unforeseen events, and I will write this off as one of them. So tech issues beyond the sim, we can't really, I don't want to judge myself for that. But it is annoying, and we missed all of that good ATC as well. So take that as a preliminary review of a SciTech yoke, if you want. So here we are. Won't arm the approach just yet. We'll go flaps 5. Now we are obviously lighter. Don't want to do that calculation right now, to be honest. 62.54. Update it. . Here's our next decel point. We should really have gotten the Altaland charts out, but there's just no time, guys. So we'll just try and wing our way down without, because I have never really used this here and it's really feels awkward, but we'll try. Just hope the real yoke doesn't really get in the way. Maybe it does. Okay, so at 10 miles we'll 10 miles we'll configure 15 and get down nice and early. Don't want to stress anything. No, 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 no. I think this flight is doomed. Oh, yeah. Wanted to abort. Push number 7. Get out. Speed, please. Speed, 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 speed.
Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Airspeed low. Airspeed low.
Yeah, so this here ain't going to. So what the auto throttle is doing now, I have no idea. This ain't going to work, guys. This is just complete disaster. Okay, so we'll try and do like this. The problem is that I have to use the same controller for for the speed, and we're way too slow here. For the speed and also for the, so I have to really switch. I don't have a physical throttle here. Still no contact with the real yoke. So if I get her down, it will take a while before I can turn off the thrust, and because I will have to let go, I have to click once to sort of, so now it's sort of stuck in the yoke, right? So I have to click once and then find the yoke, and then a bit low here. Find the yoke and then use that. So we'll see how we go with the rear yoke. Can't promise what will happen immediately after touchdown, because we will be touching down with. I don't think I can check. Maybe I will have to disconnect. Maybe if I'm stable.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch altitude set.
If I am, I'll just keep it here and let the glide slope alarm. I will disregard that. It will stop soon enough.
Approaching 03.
Low and slow here, guys. So as soon as I'm down, I'm going to just can't really check close hold.
500.
Don't really know how this will pan out for us. Real shame. Typical after such a long flight, right? I can't redo it or anything. I don't want to redo it. I don't want to be spending 2 hours again. Same route. That would just be silly. Speed is okay. It's low, but it's okay considering. Difficult to control.
Minimums. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Flare. Hard landing. I think we made it, guys. I think we survived. Oh god, what a disaster. What a complete mess and disaster, right?
80 knots.
Cancel. Manual braking. We'll take this here exit. And I'm seated up a little bit. I need to push my seat. I had to push the seat all the way back so I wouldn't bang into the real yoke when you're using the VR yoke. Whew! Honestly, guys, I was sure this wasn't going to work, and came very close to just ending the flight in the air. But we actually made it down. That's something I'm quite happy with, and I hope the passengers are as well. What a disaster and mess, and the Autoland just blew up completely because I waited too long with the approach tuning. So yeah, wasn't the flight I had imagined when I set out, to be honest. I believe we would have a beautiful flight and a nice approach and landing, and everything would be cool, right? But that's just how it is with these things. It wasn't a sim failure. We could at least have dealt with that. But when you have no control column of the sudden on very short final, then you really get stressed out. So yeah. And we will turn you off and turn you off. I think we'll just park her here. That's my seat blowing up. It's just my day. I don't really think I want to do another flight. Actually, I do. I need to get back on the horse, right? So I will figure out this control thing, and then we'll get on our way. Easy does it. I really didn't think we were going to make that landing. And if we, I actually believed that we could make it to the. Oh no, just typical. Just braking. There we go. Set the parking brake, and no ground power available yet, so we'll just connect the GPU. And then we'll kill engine number 1. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lisbon and Portugal, the 10th or 9th European country, I'm not quite sure. I'm a bit shook up. So, but we made it. What a flight, was a total foobar. What a disaster. But nonetheless, we actually made it down alive. Remember, I do have all failures enabled, and also remove flying surfaces, I think it's called, when over G-forces and over speeding. So if I did anything too hard or too wrong, cabin crew, please disarm doors and slides. If I did anything too hard or too anything, really, it would have crashed us. We would have gotten a notice, so we actually didn't do too badly, but I didn't think we would be able to make that flare and check close hold with me switching around, and it's just not like moving like this. You have to unclick, and it's really a pain. So, but we made it. Hey, we're here, safe on the ground in Portugal, And I even think we made quite a decent parking as well. We have been flying for almost 3 hours now since we took off from Nice. So 3 hours, bit delayed because of the incident. We'll start no, actually we don't need to restart. I have to restart the sim, so we'll start cold and dark again. 6 tons of fuel left. We left, was it 12 we left with? 13 tons. We left with 7 tons burned. And of course we will have to look at the all-important landing rate. I'm quite curious this time actually. Look at all that ACC that we're missing out on, guys. God, I hate that yoke right now. Actually not that bad. Maybe I should just throw out the yoke, start doing this. No, I'm kidding. That's arrived at stand. We're happy with that. So we'll complete the flight. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for flying with us today. And if we can zoom in, we can see this chaotic. It doesn't actually look that bad, right? It almost looks like we knew what we were doing, right? So last thing up, we'll jump outside, and I will end the flight leg as well. There we go. Jump outside, look at our parking. Look at that. We missed the yellow. Actually, it's worse than I thought. But it's okay. Oh my god. What a flight, but welcome to sunny, let's see, and warm, 26 degrees. Welcome to Lisbon in Portugal. The scenery I'm quite unsure of. I think it's some local scenery. It's not TDG, I think. Maybe it is, I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. It's good scenery, good enough for us. And what a flight. We had some tech issues that are outside of the sim. Either the yoke is broke or the sim and the yoke stopped talking to each other. Which is quite odd because the pedals are connected to the yoke and that all connects to the computer. So I'm quite scared that the yoke has bowed down and stand down and quit working altogether, but we'll see. I don't know, I don't have any much more to say actually, other than I hope you enjoyed this flight. At least it was an exciting landing and arrival. I do hope that you'll join me, or that you have the nerves to join me for my next flight leg, which will be a bit shorter than this one, I promise you, from Lisbon to our next country, Spain, Alicante. From now, it's Cloud Surfer Henrik signing out from sunny Lisbon in EU country, Portugal. Thank you for watching and bye bye.